I'd like to call the meeting to order. I apologize for our couple of minutes tardiness, but there are a few changes on the agenda, and I wanted to be sure that we were on the right page, literally and figuratively. And Bonnie, would you do us the favor of leading the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Certainly will. Please stand. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And there's nothing I love more than that.
That's new. Oh, our rear ends. Oh. Can't take me anywhere, can you?
President Kinnaman, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Trustee O'Neill?
Present.
Trustee Wilson?
Present.
Trustee Sanchez? Trustee Stefan?
Present.
Trustee Broughton?
Present.
Student Trustee Campbell? So we have two that's not with us.
Okay. So as of this time, we have two trustees absent, but there's a good chance that they will be here shortly. And usually our student trustee doesn't attend until after the first closed session. The board meeting agenda. Pursuant to Government Code Section 5495.4.2b2, the board may take action on items of business not appearing on the posted agenda upon a determination by 2/3 vote of the board, or if less than 2/3 of the members are present, a unanimous vote of those present, that there is an action to take that there is a need, how about that, to take immediate action, and that the need for action came to the attention of the local agency subsequent to the agenda being posted as specified. I ask, are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the agenda of April the 17th, 2014? But I am actually confirming that we are adding an action to HR number 1, early retirement incentive program. That is an item that has come to us since the agenda was officially posted. And we are pulling under that first item was an action item, HR. The second item is a consent item, also under HR, and we're pulling that. It's number 6, contract renewal. So I'm looking for a motion that we, that with those corrections and deletions, that we approve the agenda.
So move.
Second.
Okay, having a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I hear that as a unanimous vote. Nays? And, okay, there. Hear that as a unanimous vote. So, we moved right along there. Having approved the agenda as it appears, we now go to closed session. Our closed session is from 9:35 to 9:15. So, and we will be back here at 10:15. Yeah, I'm really with it today. And we'll be back to the meeting at 10:30. So, thank you. We've returned from closed session. There was no action taken, so there's nothing to report out. I need to deviate a little from the agenda, but only in the matter of time. Kathy Levitt needs to leave early, and so rather than us miss her report, I'd like to give her the opportunity to report now, and then we'll revert back to the agenda as presented. I've been in that position, and I'm pretty sure you're right, but that's the way it goes.
Anyway, this is very short, and of course I'm scripted by David. And CODA would like to join the other groups and individuals in the area that are really excited about the way that the West Valley campus is coming together and the choice of the location for it. We believe that this location is ideally suited for our students' needs and has really good transportation and parking and things like that that are so important. Once again, we'd like to express our concern. over the timing of our negotiations, which are not scheduled to begin until May. And then, of course, we have summer, and adjuncts don't work during the summer usually because they're not invited to. And so we're hoping that, given the delay in starting the process, that once we begin, the administration will move quickly and cooperate in resolving the issues in a timely, in good faith fashion. And finally, David has included in the report an article called How America's Great University System is Getting Destroyed by Noam Chomsky, who knew he was still alive, really. He's the father of modern linguistics and has been an analytical philosopher for quite a while and writes a great deal about the future of education. And many of his ideas apply directly to our current conditions as adjuncts. And that's my report. Thank you for
Kathy,
your
I
time.
didn't get the report for the article and when it
Would you
was
like to
for.
have a
Would you
copy
would
of
you
it?
have David send me a copy,
I will,
please?
I will.
Thank you.
Or I can give you the one that I have here.
Oh, that's all right. It
He
doesn't
may
matter
have-
which.
He
but
may have just not gotten the attention.
it didn't come forward
Just leave it.
on my email copy.
Kathy, we thank you for that report, and your students are very lucky to be able to have you for their entire class period.
I hope they feel that way by the time I'm finished with them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
So as we move along into the agenda, number 6, I'm kind of coordinating things here. Okay, and it takes all the fun out of it if I actually know where I am. The next item is the reading of proclamations. So our practice as a board is for those persons that are going to be presenting us the proclamations to have the opportunity to read them first, so it's early in their day and they can go ahead and go back to their normal schedule. Later in the agenda, we'll actually vote to accept these proclamations. So that I don't say this to each and every one of you, I thank you so much for your time for coming and presenting these proclamations today. The first is Earth Day. Melissa, thank you for coming today.
Thank you, trustees, for having let me have this opportunity to read this for you. So the proclamation for Earth Day. Whereas the global community now faces extraordinary challenges such as environmental degradation, climate change, food and water shortages, and global health issues, and whereas all people, regardless of race, gender, income, or geography, have a moral right to a healthy, sustainable environment, and whereas it is understood that the civilians of the global community must step forward and take action to create a positive environmental change to combat the aforementioned global challenges, and whereas a sustainable environment can be achieved on the individual level through educational efforts, public policy, and consumer activism campaigns, and whereas it is necessary to broaden and diversify the environmental movement to achieve maximum success, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Desert Community College District Board of Trustees hereby pledge this Earth Day, April 22nd, 2014, to support environmental initiatives at College of the Desert and to encourage others to undertake similar actions. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. I see that you're the club president. What is your major?
I'm actually double majoring. I'm getting an English bachelor's degree at CSU currently, and I am getting a natural resources associate's degree still at this college.
Excellent. What a good combination.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
See, the biologist in me always has to inquire. Mental Health Month. Nick? Is Nick here? Yes, Nick's here. Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Nick.
Morning.
Morning. Mrs. Wilson. Hi, my name is Nick Elatroy, and I am a student here and a student worker over at Student Health. And here to read the proclamation on Mental Health Month. So whereas mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and whereas all Americans experience times of difficulty and stress in their lives, and whereas promotion and prevention are effective ways to reduce the burden of mental health conditions, and whereas there is a strong body of research that supports user-friendly tools that all Americans can access to better handle challenges and protect their health and well-being. And whereas mental health conditions are real and prevalent on our campus, and whereas with effective treatment, those individuals with mental health conditions can recover and lead full, productive lives. And whereas each business, school, government agency, faith-based organization, healthcare provider, and citizen has a responsibility to promote mental wellness and support prevention efforts. Therefore, the College of the Desert Board of Trustees does hereby proclaim May 2014 as Mental Health Month on College of the Desert campuses and education centers. As the Board of Trustees, we also call upon the faculty, staff, and students of College of the Desert to recommit our community to increasing awareness and understanding of mental health, the steps our constituents can take to protect their mental health, and the need for appropriate and accessible services for all people with mental health conditions.
Nick, thank you so much.
Thank you.
What an appropriate thing to have, and mental health is a problem within our entire society that we're just learning to handle on a scientific basis. What is your major?
I have just completed the Human Services Alcohol and Drug Studies program with the AA, and I'm completing my psychology degree this semester.
Excellent.
I'll be graduating in June. And I'm vice president of Active Minds, which is a club that promotes mental wellness and tries to destigmatizing the mental illness issues. And May 6th, we're having a suicide prevention awareness event here on campus where we're stringing together 1,100 cranes to represent the 1,100 students, the 1,100 lives that are taken every year by suicide. 1,100 students every year across college campuses commit to take their own lives.
That just gives me
It's
chills.
May 6th.
Thank you so much for that work.
Madam Chair, if I may, just again, thank you so much. Just recently, the county mental health and Coachella Valley Health Collaborative put on a mental health conference here in the desert, also recognizing this as a very, very critical health issue. So thank you so much, and I look forward to attending that event. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're not at Rotary, so we won't find you. Classified School Employees Week, Pam Chapman.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just a little background. Classified School Employees Week. Each year, 1 week in the spring is set aside throughout California to honor classified school employees. The event was established 28 years ago by the California School Employees Association in conjunction with the California State Legislature. The purpose of such recognition is to acknowledge the continued valuable contributions which are made by classified employees and to reflect upon the work of these individuals as it relates to the success of the institution. And the proclamation reads as such: whereas classified professionals provide valuable services to the staff and students of the College of the Desert, and whereas classified professionals continued to contribute to the establishment and promotion of a positive instructional environment, and whereas classified professionals employed by College of the Desert strive for excellence in all areas relative to the educational community. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Desert Community College District Board of Trustees hereby recognizes and wishes to honor the contributions of the classified professionals to quality education in the state of California and the Desert Community College District, and declares the week of May 19th to the 23rd, 2014 as Classified School Employees Week at College of the Desert. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you,
Every
Pam.
time I link something within a Word document, I think of you and your expertise.
Oh, well, thank you. I am an administrative assistant in the Information Technology Office, and I'm also on the executive boards for CSEA. And I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Day of the Professor, Denise Diamond.
Proclamation for Day of the Professor. Whereas the Desert Community College District Board of Trustees has the utmost respect and admiration for the district's professional teachers, individuals who have dedicated their lives and talents to the education of our students, California's most precious and important resource. And whereas the Desert Community College District Board of Trustees recognizes the valuable contributions of our teachers' continued commitment to provide a quality education for all students, and whereas the Desert Community College District Board of Trustees recognizes that the quality of all students' educational experiences depends significantly and vitally upon the quality of their teachers, whereas professors have a vital role in realizing the vision for California public education, now therefore be it proclaimed that the Desert Community College District Board of Trustees expresses their grateful appreciation to all professors for their contributions to the education of students, and the designated day of May 7, 2014, Day of the Professor in the Desert Community College District.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad we
Great.
did that early because it gives me a chance to wish you a happy Passover.
Oh, likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise.
Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Proclamation of Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Whereas in May 1990, former President George Bush declared the month of May as Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and in May 1991, Governor Pete Wilson also proclaimed this month as Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month in California, the Golden State. And whereas the Desert Community College District employs an increasing number of personnel of Asian Pacific ancestry, and there is an ever-increasing number of students served by the Desert Community College District who are of this heritage, and whereas the history of the United States encompasses the unique culture and rich legacy passed down from the ancestry of the Asians and Pacific Islanders, and whereas the Board of Trustees of the Desert Community College District recognizes the many contributions and accomplishments of the Asian and Pacific Islanders for their tenacity in pursuing the highest standards and ideals attainable, and whereas the Board of Trustees of the Desert Community College District encourages the illumination of the rich cultural heritage and ethnic diversity within the greater Coachella Valley as part of the district's commitment to cultural awareness programs. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Trustees of the Desert Community College District hereby declares May as Asian Pacific American Heritage Month in the Desert Community College District in appreciation of the achievements and contributions made by Asian Pacific Islanders to the educational programs of the Desert Community College District. The Board of Trustees encourages all of the faculty, staff, and students to promote and join in the appropriate celebrations and observances throughout the Community College District, community, city, state, and nation. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
National Nurses Week.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Dennis Daniels, and this is the proclamation for National Nurses Week. Whereas Florence Nightingale was the founder of nursing as a modern profession, and whereas registered nursing is the largest healthcare profession continually working to improve healthcare, and whereas nurses provide many types of healthcare services, including bedside nursing in hospitals and long-term care facilities and research institutions, and whereas state legislatures, Congress, and individual groups within the nursing profession constantly seek ways to provide care for the expanding healthcare needs of the American society. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of Trustees of the Desert Community College District that May 6th through May 12th, 2014, be designated as National Nurses Week to honor the dedication and commitment and tireless effort of the nation's nurses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Next item on the agenda is public comments. Persons who wish to speak to the board on any item should complete the request to address the board form and present it to the secretary. Persons who wish to speak to the board on any item may do so at this time, where there is a time limit of 3 minutes per person and 15 minutes per topic, unless further time is granted by the board. I have one such request before me, Dennis Diamond. Denise, I'm sorry, Denise, I have no brains this morning. Yeah, I think I know you, yes.
I think so. I think so. Well, I knew that Nick was going to read the proclamation for Mental Health Month, but I wanted to compliment him and let the Board of Trustees know about a wonderful opportunity that we recently had through Active Minds. Nick is doing a terrific job as vice president of that club, and Student Life is incredibly supportive, and I have committed myself as one of the faculty support sponsors in it, along with my 2 full-time psychology faculty members. And I also sit on the regional board of mental health for Riverside County. We meet once a month at Oasis, and I am a family member to that board. And I look for opportunities to combine resources, and one such opportunity presented itself, so I took it to Active Minds and asked them if they would like to have some peers come and address the club, and that happened last week. And not only did the peers come and do an excellent presentation, but the lead administrator for all of Riverside County Mental Health arrived with a group of students who were also doing Government Day, and some supervisors in the mental health field across the Coachella Valley. We all met in the conference room at Student Life and had an excellent sharing and meeting, and I was very proud to be able to invite the students who represented high schools across the Coachella Valley. So as faculty here, I just said to them, you know, that they have an open invitation to come and participate in our programs, whatever those may be. So I really look forward to the continued connections, and I really want to compliment the actions of this club, who are using very creative ways to make sure we decrease stress, become educated about destigmatizing. They're doing everything from having comedians on no stress days before final exams, and it's just a wonderful example of how we can link with our community and have resources available. Nick came to my novels class, did a wonderful presentation, helped us understand how to participate in Cognito, and anyway, kudos to all, and I just wanted the board to know that this work is going on actively here at College of the Desert.
Thank you,
Denise.
Thank you very much.
Leanne, are there any other persons? Okay. Minutes, are there any corrections to the minutes of the regular meeting of March the 21st, 2014? There being no further corrections to the minutes, they stand approved. We have reached the time of reports, and Kathy has given hers. Do we have someone replacing Eleanor for the Ask God report? No, okay. COD alumni report, is Ernie here? No. Doesn't look like Ernie to me, but okay. Oh, there he is, standing up right there, okay.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jim Doyle. I'm the Vice President of the COD Alumni Association. I'd like to go over our report with you this morning quickly for you. I'm here this morning to provide an update on several projects and initiatives that are underway at the alumni. We're continue to contribute to increased support for our Valley students pursuing a college education at COD. Among these projects and initiatives, I would like to announce the COD has done several things. First of all, we have a new interim executive director. We're pleased to announce we've hired Mr. Jim DeBoom as our interim executive director to assist the COD Alumni Association in advancing its mission of enhancing the success of College of the Desert students and enriching the campus environment. Mr. DeBoom comes to the college and COD Alumni Association with a wealth of knowledge in working with students, businesses, education, and civic leaders. We look forward to you meeting Mr. DeBoom in the coming weeks and in having him provide future updates to the Board of Trustees. It's our 30th year anniversary, so we're also excited to be commencing planning of that, and this year we will be coordinating a very special campaign to commemorate the contributions made by alumni in supporting COD and in the region. We are eager to share future updates regarding this important celebration in future meetings. Scholarship awards. In the coming days, the COD Alumni Association will award over $250,000 in scholarships to graduating high school seniors and current COD students that will be attending COD in the fall of 2014. Among the recipients, we are excited to welcome approximately 60 incoming freshmen to COD this year. The Street Fair. The support of the COD Alumni Association provides our Valley students in college would not be possible without the continued commitment of over 300 merchants that participate in the COD Alumni Association Street Fair. This season was a great success, and we thank the merchants for their work to support all of our COD students. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Ernie. Do you have anything to add? Okay, thank you. California School Employees Association?
Morning. I actually had to think twice. Is that me?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Classified School Employees Week. Thank you to Dr. Kinnaman and to the board for continuing the tradition of including in today's agenda a proclamation of May 19th through May 23rd as Classified School Employees Week. CSEA is proud to celebrate our members. The classified staff hopes that Dr. Kinnaman and our trustees will join our chapter members as we celebrate with great food and conversation. Lunch will be from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, May 21st in this room. That'll be right in the middle of that special week. Supplemental retirement program and negotiations. As I reported at the last board meeting, the district and CSEA have signed a tentative agreement in which we agree that workload reorganization, if any, vacancies, if any, transfers of duty, if any, and proposed reductions of hours, if any, resulting from implementation of the program shall be negotiated between the district and CSEA. Since then, our chapter has ratified the agreement, and CSEA requests that you approve it today since it's on your agenda. Vacancies in classified staff positions continue to be a serious concern for CSEA members that were not able to take advantage of this program. And we trust that the analysis of savings presented to you and the public will assume filling the same positions and that the savings will be from lesser cost. And from what I looked at the new item today, it looks that's to be the case, so I appreciate that. Another note related to money, budget transfers. The April agenda also includes budget transfers, which sparked a bit of a red flag because that's my job. Where there is a reduction of almost $600,000 listed under Object Code 2000 for classified salaries. Fortunately, I was able to see that right before budget meeting, and so I was able to ask all about that and get some clarification that it was related to budget cleanup and that it in no way reflected changes in positions that are currently filled. And at my request, I received details and many details, and we're in the process of analyzing that data, and so I'd like to thank Lisa and her staff for fulfilling that quickly. Classified 60-day notice in the March agenda. The classified bargaining unit and the two individuals who would have been directly affected, Valerie Stiff and Mary Lou Marujo, and I thank the board as a whole for validating the process, and specifically I'd like to thank Trustee Aurora Wilson First, for pulling the item from the consent agenda for individual consideration in the action agenda. And we also thank Trustee Aurora Wilson and Trustee Mary Jane Sanchez for their votes against approving the layoff notice. Since then, and as was recommended by the board, CSEA has worked collaboratively with the district to address the issues that led to the recommendation going to the board. So we thank Dr. Kinnaman and his executive cabinet for their consideration in this matter. We had the opportunity for the two members who were affected to come and say thank you for their support earlier today. So thank you again. I wanted to make a comment of something that happened this morning, kind of just as a reaffirmation of the district's and particularly Dr. Kinnaman's commitment to the safety of our students and our staff. This morning as I was preparing, these very brightly colored documents appeared, and the typical would be, let's save a tree and posted one in a building. These were coming to each of our offices, and so I applaud that and want to thank you and Lisa and her staff for investing the time. This document was earlier sent as an email, but this to me reaffirms Dr. Kinnaman's commitment that there will be changes and that both students and staff and all of those who are here, including ourselves, I was thinking if something should happen even while we're here where all the leadership is, changes will be made and they will happen. And so I applaud that and wanted to say thank you for that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
And just to clarify, the documents went out to every single office, every single classroom this morning by our wonderful Army of Security.
That's great, and I like it actually that they went out both ways because they'll be easy to, they're nicely filed electronically. So in the future you can go out and find them, but when they're actually on paper, it gives you a chance to, there's that security of holding it in your hand and reading all the details. So thank you very much for that. COD Foundation, Jim? It says it's Jim. Sometimes it's not a Jean.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
Pardon me?
I said good morning.
Oh, good morning. Hello.
You're a little junk.
Yeah, it's been a long week. First of all, a couple of things that has taken place this last week. Last Sunday, we had a barbecue for the Ag Department. You've got a brochure that I've handed out, and we had over 200 folks there, and it was really a fun event, and food was fabulous. And it was by one of our COD alumni, Tom Emery, who did the barbecue, who has a business. He's a pit master, and it was a lot of fun. So we're highlighting agriculture and working with a lot of the major growers who did attend, and it was fun. Second of all, the Academic Angels DeQuetta Barker reception was held yesterday. They had about 118 or 120 supporters there. It was a great event up at Carol Ammon's house, who's one of our board members up at Bighorn, so that worked out well. And then finally, I gave you a copy. This is just really a draft. It's called Everywhere You Look, and it's really a compilation of all of our stories that we've had this year about our alumni. And I think it's a great piece to hand out to folks. We have more than enough copies in the office, and it really tells the story about the college and the successes, really, which is our students and where they are now. So that's, and people always wonder, where do we get these stories? And we still have the URL where you can actually go in and type your story, and we get a lot of stories there. Of course, we get referrals from you and everybody else, so it's really a way to build and make contact with folks. Finally, our 30/30 campaign came out pretty good. I can announce that we raised a little over $3.2 million in the 30 days. There's an article that was in the Desert Charity News, and that was the full page ad. We did it, thank you. But really the call to action now is why stop now? So we're continuing to do our best to increase that number over the coming next few months. the season's kind of winding down, but that doesn't mean our work stops. So that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
May I suggest that maybe we could have some of those copies in all our department offices?
Sure, absolutely.
That would just be so great to have them setting out there.
I'll coordinate with Anna and make sure it'll happen.
Great, that's beautiful.
Great, thank you.
Academic Senate.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The end of the semester is fast approaching. Here's an update on some of the things going on with faculty. The 7 full-time faculty hiring committees are in full swing, and soon candidates will be forwarded to the president. The 8 Student Success Plan co-chairs have been selected, and the teams are being formed and are beginning to meet. The Senate has elected Carl Farmer as curriculum chair, Bert Batanga as chair for Outcomes and Assessment Committee, and Kim Dozier as Ed Policies chair. And Leif Jordan has been elected as Faculty of the Year. Additional work being done. The Senate has passed the revised Faculty Emeritus procedure and additions to the distance ed procedures. There's a dual enrollment advisory meeting next week and a consortium meeting in May that faculty will be involved with. The prerequisite procedures are going to the full Senate. We would like to thank Dr. Kinnaman for approving and moving forward 3 sabbaticals. Thank you. The Senate would like to thank the Foundation for their successful Changing Lives campaign. I mean, it was truly amazing what they did. It's exciting to hear that we passed the accreditation review, and a thank you and great job to everyone involved. Administrative Assistant Day is going to occur next week, and in light of that, as an automotive faculty member, I'd like to recognize and thank my favorite administrative assistant, Nori Bambush, without whom I wouldn't be here today. And I'd like to thank and recognize Linda Vent. As Senate President, I'd like to recognize and thank my favorite Senate administrative assistant, Cheryl Contopoulos, who helps keep me sane. And to each and every administrative assistant, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you,
Thank
Douglas.
you.
Thank you.
Faculty Association. Yeah, and Denise, I got it right this time.
Is it Denise or Dennis that's
No,
reporting?
that's which one, I'm not sure.
This one's Denise?
I
Okay.
think this one is, yes.
My uncle says my niece Denise. Well, happy holidays, whatever you're celebrating, whether it's Passover or Easter or something else. It's spring, and that's a good thing. Okay, so the Faculty Association would like to thankfully acknowledge the district's agenda item set on today's agenda for bargaining with the full-time faculty. The challenge that the April sunshining creates in bargaining is the issue of timing before the faculty leave for summer. During the summer, the association is not in touch with the full-time faculty. It's a logistical nightmare. As we understand it, the district is using an attorney from Northern California on the bargaining team. Why, we don't know, but the district can certainly use long-distance attorneys, although it does seem to contribute to delays for dates for bargaining, not just for our association, but for the part-timers as well. There are a lot of calendars to coordinate. There is more discussion on dual enrollment. There will be a meeting set in the first week of May with members of the Executive Cabinet. Today, the Academic Senate, in its afternoon session, will be presented with a resolution from the faculty, which again reiterates the faculty perspective that dual enrollment requires faculty involvement at all levels and transparency. The recent issue with the threatening language on a picnic bench has made our campus more aware of our safety needs and communication process. I went to the environmental safety and safety meeting chaired by Kevin Snyder yesterday. There has been much discussion, and we look forward to supporting an action plan that includes the ability for classrooms to be locked from the inside as well as buildings being locked in a more immediate fashion than they currently are. Issues such as evacuation signage and protocol procedures have been brought to the attention of appropriate administrators. So for example, in the new communications building, which may be part of what the bond covered or not sure, there is a sign that says exit route, but above it there is no laminated exit plan, map, nowhere in the building. So we all see that as important. Though it would be costly, obviously, to equip more than 800 campus doors with an effective lock system, which that I understand from Kevin is modernized almost as we speak. There are various options. We do believe that by working together with the campus community, all of us, we can get this job done. And the association supports safety drills and presentations on procedures for emergencies. Okay? I look forward to sharing with the Board of Trustees some of the many achievements of the 11 faculty who have decided to take the early retirement program pending your board approval. That's a lot of faculty. College of the Desert is fortunate to attract dedicated and talented faculty who have made a career of teaching here in the Coachella Valley. And the reorganizational plan that of the college and its relationship to both the faculty and classified who are leaving and the new ones who are coming in, it's critical that we have a continuing access to share and discuss how this is going to roll out for College of the Desert, because everybody has that on their mind. I think you can particularly appreciate this, Trustee O'Neill, the institutional memory of College of the Desert. We have many good stories still to tell and want to share, and I hope to use the board meeting in the month of May to particularly honor many of our colleagues. You may even be surprised to know that one has been here almost 50 years and was the youngest faculty hire in the history of College of the Desert, even to this day. Hired in his 20s, spent a 47-year career here, Professor Atun. So there'll be more, but it's big. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to hearing it.
Thank you.
Trustee O'Neill, let's begin with your report. Since we missed you last month, and perhaps you have a lot to say.
Actually, thank you. I missed being here also, as much as I've teased you about it not being here. I'm actually not going to recap everything. I did watch the last board meeting, and I realized it's just sitting here giving dates and events wasn't that interesting to me. So I'm going to approach my reports differently in the future. And I'd like to start today with the continuation of the good feeling from the expansion of College of the Desert East and West, and that most recently would be the announcement regarding our West Valley expansion. I want to thank many individuals, only a few by name. The first being Mayor Steve Pugnier. As Dr. Kinnaman has stated, we were in a situation where the West Valley campus was becoming less and less a viable option for us at its location on the North Indian Canyon. And as we were in discussions regarding this, Steve Pugnier just happened to call and say he wanted to talk about it. And Dr. Kinnaman and I and many other people attended a meeting, and we started this process rolling almost a year ago now. How fast a year passes. And we all knew that this was the right thing to do at the right time, but I never, even in my most optimistic expectations, realized what a sensational outpouring of support and enthusiasm there would be from the community. And I'm not just speaking of the Palm Springs community, I'm speaking of members of the community from across the valley who have contacted me ecstatic about what we are doing. People within the community, people who are part-time residents whose commitment to the community is, questionable in some ways, and eagerly supporting what we're doing. I'm so pleased that we were able, after months and months of working on this, to make this announcement and make it possible to do this. In addition to Steve, the mayor, I want to thank the city council. They were very supportive, the city staff who worked closely with us, Dr. Kinnaman for his leadership on this, because he was every person at that point in time when this began. He was the vice president of everything, and the president and the superintendent and all of us staff that he had to pull together to make this a reality. And everyone, regardless of what they say, they're saying to me, you have to make this happen and make it happen as soon as possible. And I think we got such great publicity on this. People think that we are taking the old mall and we're opening up those storefronts and putting classes in there. And one of the local TV stations did a switch. They showed the empty halls in the mall, and then they switched to a file footage of our students underneath the walkways here and said, this is what the mall will look like in shortly. And I think we are all in that same enthusiastic mode, and we need to do everything we can to keep this enthusiasm moving forward, because we have the community support, we have everyone's support. And it was a great, great feeling to be a part of that. And I thank you, Dr. Kinnaman, for all that you did. The Indio grand opening, which is one of the things I didn't get to report on last time, I understand from various people that the impact that the college is having at that site is already generating positiveness throughout that community, and that's just wonderful. As we continue the spread of College of the Desert, you know, we are continually in negotiations and looking at options for Desert Hot Springs. And so we're looking at the whole community. It's been a concern of mine when we went to district elections that we might lose that community over perspective, and I think we've maintained that. One thing I would like to bring, and this is not a negative, it's just a follow-up really, is 3 years ago we pushed to have that last building built on that pad at Mecca Thermal, and we were told the money was there and all we had to do was get the building built. And I wish we could finish that. I think it'd be a vital completion of our first phase commitment to the East Valley. And I'd really like to see that we move that forward as quickly as possible. I think 3 years of planning. I know it takes a lot of planning to put a building of that nature up, but to move that forward would be very helpful. And I know Becky would really appreciate it. I want to compliment the Mental Health Club. When I was on staff, we had a cooperative agreement with County Mental Health. We did a lot of work directly with mental health, and I'm so pleased to hear what is going on. Thank you, Denise, and thank the gentleman who's the vice president. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. But am I done already? Can I have a few more seconds since I missed last month?
Yes.
I promise I'll be quick. I want to congratulate, I see President Donna Jean Darby was here but left, but the 3030 campaign, that was an outstanding commitment to the college. And I also want to mention that I want to thank everyone that the invitations for all the end of the year events are pouring in. I know I appreciate all the invitations. It's somehow not always physically possible for me, at least, to attend all those, and I promise I will do my best. But please understand that we do appreciate your interest in having us attend. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Aurora?
Well, I too am excited about the possibility of that Palm Springs campus, and I'm happy to hear of you know, how you've talked about the good work and cooperation with the city of Palm Springs, but I also think that we need to take a look at our leadership and our, certainly Trustee O'Neill, you had a lot to do with that as well. You represent the Palm Springs area, and you were there during the time of the discussions. And that's really key to have our trustee leadership present. So thank you for being there and your leadership. I'm on the COD Friends of the Library board, and we had our spring book sale just at the end of March, and the book sale yielded more than $8,000. Wow. You can imagine, and that's going to go to our campus library So many thanks to the volunteers who worked hard on the book sale. So this year, as a result of the book sales and the book fair that we have at Barnes & Noble every year, the Friends will be presenting a check for $35,000 to College of the Desert for the library. So we're really, really happy about that. The Agriculture Department barbecue was discussed earlier. I attended that event this past Sunday. We're making great strides with our Ag Department. It is such a big part of the Coachella Valley economy, and it's so good to see that we're making the improvements that we need to reflect that. So thank you. On Monday, I attended an ASCOT meeting. I wanted to sit in on the meeting and meet some of the student members, so thank you so much for the invitation. And really enjoyed, Carlos, thank you for being there, and wanted to find out what the challenges were from the students' vantage point. So really enjoyed being there. Yesterday, I attended a Green Council meeting that was held in this room. The college has a contract with Coca-Cola, and they did a presentation on their environmental efforts. Their presentation was excellent. They do have a distribution center here in Coachella, and they will be coordinating a tour of their center with the college at some time in the future. So it'd be good to go out there and take a tour of that area. Also at that meeting, there was really good discussion about our college's recycling program. We had a representative from the city of Palm Desert who was also in attendance, and she talked about the city's recycling efforts and welcomes the opportunity to work with our staff to strengthen our recycling program. And it was also good to see the passion of our staff on the importance of saving our environment. So thank you for your comments. Lisa knows I'm talking about her. And yesterday I was invited by an academic angel to attend the Coetta Barker reception at the home of Carol Ammon in Bighorn. It was a great opportunity to meet the wonderful volunteers or academic angels who helped the college. And what an incredible venue. The house was just outstanding. We were also entertained by students from COD's music department, and they were just outstanding. You talk about wonderful music. It was just great. So it was just a great evening of giving thanks to all those that give to College of the Desert. And pretty much with just being a minor nuisance to my clerk of the board, that pretty much concludes my report. Thank you.
Bonnie?
Okay. This month I decided to look at things a little bit differently. One of the things that I did attend was the Financial Literacy Month at EVC last Tuesday. And that was a wonderful event where we had guest speakers from the community talking about financial literacy. The session that I was able to attend was with regards to budgeting and planning for not only for your college financially, but also for your whole future. And it was very, very educational. I wish I could have attended one when I was much younger. I might have a little more in my pockets now. Afterward, I went up to see our director for our off-site campuses, and then I took a tour with him around the EVC because that is within my community that I serve. While we were doing that, I encountered one of my former 6th grade math students from Jefferson. And as I reflected on it while I was trying to write up my report and trying to make it interesting, I realized that when he was explaining to me that it's taken him a long time to actually get back to college, like I had encouraged all of my 6th graders to do, go to college, and you know, it doesn't matter when you go, just go back, you go to college, you know, you can always start over, you know, every day is a new beginning. And it's a great time of year to think about that. But he was apologizing for it taking him so long, and I kept telling him, it doesn't matter when you start. Some people start their journey and they stop their journey. That's one thing that I had done, and I've said that many times. And then they start again. And it goes on. And it's not a K-12 education journey or a K-16, or maybe by the time you're 48, you're finished. Or in my mom's case, she was almost 65 when she finished her college because I dragged her back with me, my poor mother. But she did finally complete her college, but we continue on. And the thing that I thought was most amazing when I started reflecting, I started thinking about a colleague of mine that had passed away a few years back. And I've thought of her many times in many different situations while I've been teaching or while I've been learning something new in a session somewhere. The fact that I remember things that she taught me or guidance that she gave me or things that we worked on together. And I always remember that just because you're gone from this existence, it doesn't mean that your educational journey ends. It's kind of like a ripple effect. Like in my life, her educating me continues in everything that I do when I reflect on what she taught me. And I bring that to my students. And so, although we think our education stops when we stop college, it doesn't. It continues on. I did do some other things this month, and I want to say congratulations first up to the foundation. That was quite an accomplishment, and I know they don't want to hear me say this, but maybe we should go to 3 times. You know, they want to continue, I want to continue. I think we all need to continue with this effort that we're giving because this is really, really wonderful. I always tell people I must be related to the pig. I love pigs. I make pig noises. I'll share that with you another time. Best of luck to the Mesa students. They were competing in a statewide math competition this morning. And I'm hopeful that as the Western Valley campus has changed its location, we did that in the Eastern Valley campus. And once we did that, it seemed to progress much more rapidly. So I am in great hopes that perhaps that new location will mean that things will go forward and progress very rapidly from here on out. A couple things that I attended was the artist lecture on the desert scapes. And again, I reflect on that, remembering that I had been past many of those scenes and thought, oh my gosh, you know, hopefully the car won't break down here. But seeing them in the perspective and hearing the artist's rendition or the story that they had to tell, believe me, I was looking at those things through a whole new light. It was an education, and that day I also attended the street fair, and another wonderful, wonderful event that we have. There's one more thing I wanted to share about that I don't think anyone else went to. That was the jazz standards too. For $10, the community, or the Coachella Valley, anyone in the Coachella Valley could have attended this at the Pollock Theater. And Bill Marks was there, and he was a special guest. And I don't know if you're familiar with him. He has studied composition at Juilliard, and he's written musical accomplishments. They're varied and very extensive. And I was wishing poor Ted, my significant other, could have been there because of the fact that he loves jazz. And when I told him about it, he was just beside himself, but he had to work that night. But this was something for our students, and it was for the community at large, and Dan Waddell did a wonderful job, and it was just a most wonderful, wonderful evening. And so I wish everybody a very happy spring, happy Easter, happy Passover, happy educational journey.
Thank you. Student trustee.
Hello, everyone. Last month I went to Sacramento, and I drove up there to talk to the legislation. I talked to Brian Estani, Manuel Perez, and also attended in the march. So it was a great opportunity. While going up there, we took, I had 7 other students follow with me, and came with me in the vehicle, and we drove up there. It was a long drive, but it was worth it, especially when it comes to education. So I did that last month. Also, I attended last month at the American Student Association in Washington, D.C. We also took 7 students out there, ASCOD, and it was a wonderful event. The students got training. They were able to learn how to talk to Congress and, learn about they can make a difference all they have to do is use their voice. So I think we possibly made opening doors to more advocators in our campus. And so I appreciate being able to go to that trip, and I know the students did too, so thank you on that. Also, I attended the talent show last weekend. It was in the Pollock Theater. We have a lot of talent on this campus. It just needs to be showcased, and I enjoyed it. It was put on by ASCOD, and Timothy was one of the chairs, and he did a fantastic job, so I would like to congratulate him. Also, one thing, I know everyone was talking about the West Campus and East Campus, and I do agree that we do need to finish up Mecca. We need to get that taken care of. If we finish a project, we must complete it. And in Indio, I attend class over there. It's a wonderful campus, and I see students happy. I see my face every day on the window over there with my family, so it's it's great. So I'm happy that the college decided to get the Indio campus going, and I'm looking forward to see Palm Springs campus. So when those doors open, I know this Palm Springs people are going to be excited to actually be part of the college family. One thing I do want to talk about too is I know last month people came over here and discussed about the Desert Hot Spring campus, and they were told that the Palm Springs campus was going to be able to be close enough, and I'm hoping that meets the needs for the people in Desert Hot Springs. And one thing I do know, there was a concern that about the GED program having it open more classrooms over there, and also dual enrollment. So if we can get that started or have some classes like that for them, I think that would be great. And I'm also part of the ASCOD candidate election committee. So actually yesterday we had a it was a election form. So there was the candidates got to go over questions. There's I'll mention 2 questions that they talked about. So what are some important issues and concerns on the campus that can or should be addressed by you and the Senate while holding this position? So I think that was a really important question that they were asked, because they need to know what's going on the campus to see if they're, to help the students. And another thing a question we talked about is, in your opinion, what role does or should the student government play on a college campus? So that was that. I probably have way more. Oh, I actually got a minute to talk about. But I guess I'm going to go a little bit back to the ASSCC. One of the national conference was things that we took priority we talked about was the Pell Grant, the DREAM Act, and Student and Family Tax Simplification Act. So I think those are the ones that was our 3 most priorities. And we took that into Robert Ruiz, the the Congressman's office, and we had really good personal stories. And I think that it was going to make a benefit impact on some of those bills. So that concludes my report today. So thank you.
Thank you. After the trustees opening that door for me, I would be remiss if I didn't jump right in with both feet. And Joel would wonder what was wrong with me. I do appreciate your support. The community appreciates your support for completing that campus, although we all know it's really just completing the first phase. We do have that area. We have talked about different types of construction which might be possible. There are some pushback to the thoughts of the portable type buildings that we put in there, and perhaps building it differently rather than having a pre-constructed model. And I don't believe that. I think as long as it matches, it's attractive. That campus has a very comfortable feel. I think as long as we continue that feel, that we can keep that community there, that the building that by whatever method is most appropriate will be fine. I hope that we will consider, I know you've never heard me say this before, a wet lab there, because I think the students of the East Valley all deserve an opportunity to go down a path of their choice. It's not right for us to close doors. We should be opening them so others can pass through. We should welcome our STEM students as well as our liberal arts students. On the other hand, I thank all of those involved in making the offerings at that campus more rounded. There's more opportunities now. There's more classes added. It's really, really a great thing. So we thank you for that from that side. Segueing right from that agricultural community, I too am very appreciative of the foundation's very successful money raising events, because gosh, they've done so many things over so many days. It's no wonder that Jim said he was exhausted. I started my month since the last board meeting, pretty much immediately after the last board meeting. I want to thank those members of the College of the Desert community that were my guests at the Farm to Fork event that the California Women for Agriculture holds each year. It was an opportunity for us to not only share in a delicious meal, but to remember that those of us that eat and wear clothes are involved in agriculture. We can have an opportunity to make choices about where our agricultural products come from and where employment opportunities are offered. So I'm hoping that the College of the Desert will continue to look at those opportunities. Those are in this valley. They are continual jobs. They will be there as long as the community supports them, which gives us an opportunity to have safe food that we can count on where it came from and how it was grown. I too have attended, I'll get off that soapbox, and I too have attended the various events that we all attend over the month, the agenda meetings, the conferences, and those things. Being a trustee is an ongoing education. It's not like you just come to the board meetings. There's I would say every day, but at least several times a week you have an opportunity to be introduced to a new idea, a new approach, to at least have input into putting out a small or large fire. One of the first things I told Dr. Kinman when he came is that we do have those literal fires on this campus or any other large community all the time. Our job as a board is to tell Dr. Kinman that we smell smoke. His job is to decide whether it's a campfire or a backyard barbecue or a full-fledged forest fire. So he's quite good at that too, I may add. So my emphasis this month, and will be as we move into our study session, is to help guide us, be the facilitator, because this board is a team, into being a stronger, better board where we have more measurable results and more opportunities for training, so that we can help be leaders of our college as we move forward in our attempt to help everyone toward their lifetime education. Thank you.
Hear, hear.
Joe.
Thank you. You stayed on message too with East Valley, so that's great.
God knows you've never heard that message.
I'm learning from you. You know, I know I'm going to be saying some of the same things, but I have to. So I want to spend some time with West Valley. People really aren't aware of the amount of time and importance and influence that Trustee O'Neill had in pulling things together and representing the city, having the history of the players that were on the Blue Ribbon Committee, making sure that whenever we were informing interested parties or having dialogue behind the scenes, that we knew which players were going to be important for us to touch. And so all of those things, you know, they were so beneficial and contributed to a positive reaction from the community. So again, thank you for the many meetings over there with the mayor and the city attorney and the city manager. And so Mayor Pune, David Reddy, the city manager, the council, so many people in the community that we sat down with that has a strong interest in that location. They all need to be applauded, but really this board, because that was a bold and I'll say brave decision. When you're going down a path, and you've been going down it's predates probably most of you. We passed the bond, and the next thing we have a location, but the world changes, and to change with it and assess and reassess and then make that decision, that is a lot of risk involved. And so again, applaud the board for your courage and your willingness to do with what I think we all agree is going to be best for the students in West Valley. A couple other people I'd like to thank, but you won't believe this. I'll thank the Desert Sun for their fair coverage, and of course the editorial board. And then someone that's worked with us on a lot of different enterprises, I'll call them, Kay Hazen, very, very important person in helping us with this. On April 8th, I attended, along with Pam Hunter, we attended the Community Assessment Committee that's at the James O. Jesse Highland Center in Palm Springs, the neighborhood adjacent to the property that we were originally going to construct on. We had a very good meeting, very informative. I was really pleased that I got feedback that even members of that group thought the new location was a better location. And so we've committed working with the mayor and the city to bring them to the table and start talking about the future of the other site and what that could look like. And so I'm looking forward for those conversations. We had our accreditation team, follow-up team, come in on Monday, and so that always makes you nervous. We know how many colleges and districts get put on probation and sanctions, and it's so even though you may be doing really, really great things, there's some things that if you're not doing them, you get put on sanction, get a warning. Maybe you haven't fully went through an planning and assessment cycle or something like that, and the next thing you know, you're on sanction, and that's really a way to get a college moving forward. I'm pleased because 2 years ago they pointed out that the college was in a very different place than it is today. The chair of the team even said that their team said it didn't seem like it was the same college. And they really praised the leadership that is part of the accreditation, the ALO leadership, the whole team, the faculty, et cetera, and the work that they've done. They praised our research function and how much that's improved, and that we were able to go through a full planning process, integrate our budgeting process, fund priorities, identify priority positions, recruit for those positions. They couldn't believe that in 2 years we were able to accomplish that. So I'm anticipating that I know their report's going to be positive. I hope the commission, when they see the report, also responds in a positive manner. I'm pretty confident that they will. And so, that's probably some of the best news and I think recognition of the work of everybody here that I've heard. Let's see, I've been working a lot closer with Tom Flavin, the CEO of CVEP. We're going to continue to meet regularly, talk about our relationship. Again, our location in West Valley, it's going to really complement that relationship because we're right down the street. So we're going to continue to explore opportunities. I've had meetings with the new president from CSU San Bernardino, Dr. Morales, the interim dean at CSU San Bernardino Palm Desert campus, Dr. Maynard, and then all of the superintendents in the area, so that we can continue to talk about education as a group of educators, and not be, we talk about silos. We don't want our educational institutions to be siloed as well, and we really need to come together as educators and ramp up the bar. And so we're having some very, very positive conversations around that. The Achieving a Dream program, I want to acknowledge Anna for taking the lead on that and bringing some speakers to us. And Achieving the Dream is it's really a national program, a network of colleges, and their main focus is student success. I mean, just if you boil everything down, it's student success, and they provide coaches and assistants and can point us in directions with other colleges that are Achieving the Dream colleges. So I'm looking forward that we'll be working much more closely with that network. It'll help us move our student success agenda forward. And I'm almost done. Am I on the timer? No, good.
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Okay.
Real time you.
Just a couple more things. I did have an opportunity to go to AACC in D.C. I think it was last weekend before last. And while I was there, the whole conference was on student success. And they had really the biggest leaders nationally as the speakers. And one of them was Terry O'Banion. He used to be the CEO for the League of Innovation, well published, you know, speaks a lot, and he's a little irreverent. But fortunately, I had an opportunity to have dinner with him one evening and just talk about Coachella Valley and talk about our students. He's closing on, I think he closed on his house yesterday, maybe, here in Coachella Valley. So we're going to have a resource here that's available to us that I'm really excited about. But he knows the community and he knows the possibilities. So we've got that resource, and I'm looking forward with working with him as we move forward. And also we had an opportunity to spend some time with John Roosh, that formerly had been in Austin, Texas, and a doctoral program there, and he's started a new program as well. And so some really good contacts that are willing to work with us on any student success plan that we design and be there to coach us along. Lastly, I want to talk briefly about the threat we've read about. It's been expressed here. I've met with 2 teams from the Sheriff's Department and other agencies and staff. We've met on 2 occasions, one time early in the week last week, and then again yesterday. So let's see, when was the first one? Monday, I guess, Monday or Tuesday. Okay. So they're continuing to monitor, keep us apprised, and we're feeling very positive about how they're handling the situation. And as we have more information, of course, we'll share it, and then we'll continue to do things to strengthen our security program here. It takes this type of experience for you to really spend some time with those others in the community that are going to support you, and it gives them some time also to evaluate their processes. So we're positive about that. Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Kinnaman,
yes.
I want to thank you for mentioning the community, the Jesse O. Jackson area community. I think knowing that they support this, because When we were initially meeting with that community a few years ago, they were questioning the loss of their identity as a neighborhood with the institution of our college on that site. So I think they're very happy that they will have their neighborhood and not our building sitting out in the middle of the block. So thank you.
They were very, very positive and appreciative that we're going to be engaged as partners moving forward, and we really need to respect that. So, but thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you. We still have time before lunch, I think, to handle the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda will be considered for approval by a single vote without discussion. Any board member may request that an item be pulled from the consent agenda to be discussed and considered separately in the action agenda. I'd like to remind you that HR item 6 is no longer on the consent agenda, and but otherwise it is as presented. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Yes,
Madam
sir.
Chair, I'd like to pull HR number 7 and Administrative Services number 5.
HR number 7 and Admin Services number 5. Okay. Is there any other, sometimes someone wishes to speak to an item or something before. Is there any other? Okay, hearing none. So the consent agenda is to be approved. Trustee O'Neill has asked that we pull HR 7 and Administrative Services number 5. Do we need, Carlos, my expert, do we need a second or we just pull, right? Okay. So with that consent agenda as presented, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Forgot me.
You are?
You forgot.
Oh, I forgot you. Yes, I'm so sorry. Student Trustee Campbell?
Aye.
Aye. So that does make it a unanimous vote.
Yes, well.
And it's actually right here, but I just missed it. I'm looking to see. Our next item, Michael, do you wish to go? Because the first thing will be on the action agenda will be these two items that were pulled. Would you like to talk about them now, or would you like to wait until after lunch?
I'm going to be brief. I just wanted to be able to talk with.
Okay.
So it's up to you, Madam Chair.
Okay, so let's try them one at a time.
Okay.
HR item 7?
6.
6?
Excuse me, 7.
7, okay, I wrote down 7, but that doesn't mean
Sorry.
anything. New job description. Trustee O'Neill?
I think this is wonderful.
We need a motion.
Oh, a motion?
We need a motion. Do
I
have a
move
motion?
that we move the item.
Okay,
Second.
thank you.
Okay. I think
We
this is
jumped those
great.
hurdles.
I know adult education was a concern, has been an issue, a concern for many years now. The question, or I guess statement I want to make is, this seems to be different than what I originally thought the direction was going to take. Has there been changes in this? Because I thought we were taking all responsibility, everything was coming on to us, and it seems like, and this may be an option, that we are integrating thoroughly with the local K-12s.
I think what you might be referring to is the original proposal of Jerry Brown did reflect that all adult education would be moved under the auspices of community colleges. In response to that proposal, the K-12 system statewide quickly and clearly articulated the number of challenges that would create for them in terms of facilities, capacity, and ultimately the community colleges agreed that budget would be a limiting factor. So as a compromise, the governor put forward a proposal to create a planning process, which would include both community college districts and adult education providers, to create a statewide plan for that transition. So what you're seeing in front of you is the result of an initial planning grant that our region, our valley, has received, and this position will actually act as the lead facilitator of the planning process for both the college and all of our K-12 partners. So the consortium includes all of our local K-12s as well as our organization, and over the next year, this position will act to organize, lead, and summarize planning efforts for the Coachella Valley as we move forward.
Thank you. And we can come up with do we come up with our own plan, or is there a state model that we are working toward?
We are coming up with our own plan under the parameters that are set forth at the statewide level.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for bringing that forward. I think many of us stuck with that. I had asked a similar question. I had stuck with that original concept of the conversation that came around, where it would all, and I know there were concerns. It had its pluses and its minuses. So I'm glad you brought that forward, because it'll clear up to others too about how that's actually playing out. Is there any other discussion for this item? Student trustee?
Aye. Wait, no. Are we asking that? Is that for pulling it, or?
No, that is for actually approving this item.
Then aye.
Aye, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? I hear that's a unanimous vote. The next item that was pulled is Admin Services Number 5, Agreement for Special Services. Do I have a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Trustee O'Neill?
What I'm concerned about, there's a number in the list, and I submitted a question earlier. It's still that one with the law firm, Atkinson, Andelson, Loya, Rude, and Romo. Trustee Broughton and I worked on a subcommittee of the board 2 years ago to make sure that all of our contracts were never out of date, and this one bothers me. I understand your explanation to a point, Vice President Howell, but why would the law firm insist that we provide a contract coverage when they provided services under our other contract?
The truth of the matter is the other contract was not executed. So when we tried to execute the contract for this specific service, they sent the contract that was dated, the predated. I said, no, I'm not interested in signing that. This is very specific period of time from April through June. And we were told, I checked with HR, and the services are being provided to the college, but being paid for through our risk management. So when you ask the question, has the college paid anything for the services? No, we have not. We have not paid anything to that firm this entire year, which is why a contract didn't come forward. A contract was submitted and never signed, so it never came to the board for this fiscal year. When we try to execute a contract with them that indicates the date from April through June, they're saying that would cause them an issue because they're actually providing the college services under the risk management area. So, and I don't know if Stan is aware of this or if you can add any additional.
No,
so that we tried to get it dated April through June, and otherwise we'd have to actually do two separate contracts, and we figured, at this point we're gonna.
That helps. Thank you. I couldn't understand the dynamics. Thank you.
It's confusing.
So my understanding is that although the contract is dated much earlier, it was never executed, and we are just approving that it be now executed.
That is correct.
Okay. Okay. Are there any other questions on this? Okay.
Thank you.
Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I hear that's unanimous vote. It has now come to the hour of lunch. I will, let me see, what are the right words here? Recess. Okay, that's it. I knew we were on a journey, so we'll recess the meeting so that we can go to closed session. The meeting will begin again at 1:30? 1:30. Thank you. The meeting back to order. There's nothing to report, no action to report from closed session. Next item on the agenda, Resolution 04-1714-1, excuse of board member absence. Do I have a motion to receive the resolution as presented?
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, it's a roll call vote.
Okay. Trustee Campbell. Oh, I'm sorry. Trustee O'Neill.
Aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Sanchez.
Aye.
Trustee Stefan.
Aye.
Trustee Broughton.
Aye. Thank you. That was a unanimous vote. I'm not sure if I had to report that out, but we'd rather report too much than not enough. President, the item is approve the College of the Desert's accreditation follow-up and midterm reports for a second reading. Do I have a motion to approve the reports as presented?
You do?
Second.
I'm hearing that as a motion and a second. Joel, do you have any addition before we get into the discussion of this?
No, only, I guess no only means yes.
No, only means he has something.
I just, again, I can't emphasize how thankful I am for the team that worked on this and all the efforts the past couple of years around the recommendations from accreditation. Again, the outgoing team on Monday and the closing meeting they were just so positive. And so thank the staff for everything that you've done to make that happen.
I'd like to make a comment. I think thank you. I want to thank the staff for the hard work they do for our accreditation. I think on the Desert Community College is very critical and important that we do follow the guidelines for our accreditation. I want to personally thank the faculty, the staff that went out of their way to make this possible. Thank you.
I had the privilege of reading the report so I could sign it and as it was presented to the board, and it was a marvelous job. It took many hours of many different people's work, because we all know that when one person produces something, it just becomes better as others refine it. So it was an excellent job. Thank you so much. Andrew, did I see you wishing to speak to that?
No, I agree with everyone, all the board members here. I think it was a tremendous job. I think you were spending all the time on that, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Andrew, your vote?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? I hear that as a unanimous vote. Oh, yes, it does, and thank you for being my help here. An item was added to the agenda, and we're believing it comes here. It is under HR Item 1, Early Retirement Incentive Program. There are copies in the back for anyone that would like to hold it in their hand, since it was added. It came to our attention after the agenda was posted.
Leanne, may I get a copy of that, please?
It should be right there. You can have.
No, I don't have.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, we have maybe some other things that you set up our table. A few other things have been added. Probably just got.
I think it's critical. All board members. I mean, this is not the first time, Leanne. I think we do need to get all board members need to have copies of everything?
We
It
did.
was.
We did.
We all had a copy.
But it's
I
probably
think
in
it's
there.
just gotten, something got put on top of it.
Right.
Um,
But I just want to state that for the record.
Okay,
This is
believe
not
we
the
do.
first time. Thank you.
Okay, so the title of this is Early Retirement Incentive Program. I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion of this item?
I'm overwhelmed by the response to this program.
Yeah.
And I'm happy we've been able to offer it.
I am too, and it's one of those bittersweet things where I'm happy that people have an opportunity to move to the next chapter of their life, and I'm sad that we're going to miss all of their knowledge and hard work that they've contributed to our community over the years. So it's a mixed feeling, but I'm very happy that we were able to do this.
And do you want any other information from staff?
Does anyone need any other information? Otherwise, I'm going to bring it up for vote. All in favor? Oh, excuse me. Yes.
Aye.
Aye. I got, see? Student trustee votes aye. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Hearing none, I hear it as unanimous vote. And thank you, Bonnie, for being sure I didn't skip over that and having to go back to it.
I just trying to figure out where it went.
You really
Trustee
are.
Broughton, if I could just mention, we have two folks here from PARS, now that you have voted, who drove down from Orange County. In case you had questions, I just want to thank them and say goodbye.
We thank you for your comments this afternoon, but with the joking set aside, we appreciate you being available to us. That we've had lots of discussion on this item has come before the board. Our staff has made us feel very comfortable about it. I think your being here today backs that up, that we went about it in the right way, and so we do more than you know. We appreciate you being here, and I'm sure you don't mind heading for home. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, we actually could have let them, although
Would have been nice.
present to us, but
That would have been nice.
I'm sure
so-
they're not sad.
They're not running back in
No,
here,
they
they're
are
running
not
out.
running back here saying, "Oh, please let me do this." Okay, so now I'm lost. There we go. Back to knowing where I was. Okay, so I believe the next item is, we've done the accreditation follow-up administration services?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. Thanks. Administrative Services Resolution 04-17-14-2, Budget Adjustments. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution as presented?
So moved.
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I hear motions and seconds. Leanne, choose. Okay. Any discussion?
I'm just happy to see that the state is contributing back some of the money gets cut from the
Yes.
categorical programs in the last few years. I was very happy to see this.
Hearing no other discussion, our student trustees vote?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? I hear that it's unanimous vote. Was that? Was it roll call? It's a resolution vote? It is a roll call.
Sorry.
Trustee O'Neill.
Aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Sanchez.
Aye.
Trustee Stefan.
Aye.
Trustee Broughton.
Aye. And we left out student trustee, which I'm already in trouble for.
Trustee Campbell.
Aye.
Okay, that's what, since I'm
Say-
already
I
in
wa-
trouble for
I
that.
was saving the best,
The best for-
student
exactly,
trustee for last.
yes. Okay, so now that we've had this resolution for budget adjustments, the next item is budget transfers. Do I have a motion to approve the budget transfers as presented?
You do?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, I call that a unanimous vote. Okay, timer. Now we have a public hearing regarding the prospective lease of district property. I open this public hearing, and the timer has started. Thank you so much. Anyone here today wishing to speak? The public hearing is open. We would love to hear what you have to say. We're keeping up with our paperwork up here. The public hearing is now closed. Request for waivers from Board of Governors. Do I have a motion to approve the request of waivers as presented?
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Just a question.
Okay.
We're requesting a waiver. Is the assumption the waiver will be granted, and if it isn't, does that stop our process?
That's a great question. We have Mr. David Cohen from Peaks Company LLC here. He is our consultant on the new market tax credit.
Hello again.
We might as well get you a nameplate.
Hey, the answer is yes, it would stop the process if we don't get the lease waiver. It's really pretty much just administrative action. We're setting up an entity purely for the structure of the new market tax credit transaction. There's nothing controversial about it. It's a special purpose tax entity. And because it has no other use or function, but the education code never took into account new market tax credits, we simply need to request a lease waiver so it doesn't have to go to competitive bid or potentially going against the education code that says we are using the property for something other than educational classroom use, which it is going to be used for just through the new entity.
To your knowledge, has anyone ever asked for this type of waiver in the past, and if so, has it been granted?
Yes, West Hills Community College has preceded us in doing a new markets transaction, and they did the exact same thing. We're following in their footsteps. They asked for a waiver from the Board of Governors, and it was approved through just a consent agenda item. It was not controversial.
Okay, that's reassuring. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Thank you so much. Hearing no other questions or discussion, student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? I hear that is unanimous vote. Notice of intent to award contracts for the athletic facilities project, that is the tennis courts. Do I have a motion to approve the notice of intent as presented?
So moved.
Second.
There being a motion and a second, is there any discussion?
I assume the first one listed is the winner. Okay. Just wanted to verify that.
And I'm assuming that we're building the enough tennis courts to teach a class, not the original thought.
That is correct.
Thank you so much. John
And these are
Marmon,
all
thank you.
be located where the current gym facility is, correct? All 8 courts, or 8 courts? Yeah.
We're going to be better than the tennis garden one day.
Pardon me?
We're going to be better than the tennis garden one day.
So, any other questions? Student trustee Campbell?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hear that as unanimous vote. Okay, now we move on to our study session. First item is educational centers.
Yes, we are going to be presenting that at a future meeting and not at this meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is a facilitator for professional development. The background of this is that we as a board have been working on our evaluations, our learning and learning more about how we can be a more effective board. And we've done our current evaluation, but an evaluation never stops. It's an ongoing process. So we have been discussing possible facilitators for a study session, whether it'll be a retreat or a study session that's on the grounds. It'll be they'll be an open posted session. But we've been discussing among us while we sat here at the different people that we thought would be good good leaders for this discussion that we need. Today, last month, I passed out a list of possible facilitators. And there have been some additions to that list, so we're going to continue this process for another month. On the front of your board development facilitators packet, you will see there is a ballot. I am asking that you carefully consider these possibilities and vote for your top 3. If you'd send them, pass this one down, he didn't get one. If you will email it to Leanne, and you don't have to email it in ballot form, you could just email your 3. Your votes count equally, okay? You're not voting my first choice, my second choice, my third choice. You're voting, you're letting us know, you're letting Leanne know which 3 of these facilitators you prefer. The reason I wanted a larger number than 1 was I want to be sure that we get someone that we choose in this first round whose timing works with our timing. We're going to have some time. We probably won't have this particular discussion until later in the year, because what we want to be prepared for is the next time we evaluate ourselves. And we're hoping this teaches us to be a better board, and in that way we can be a better support for the president. The next step in this process, and like I say, it reminds me of the great cycle of student learning outcomes and around that we go. The next step in this cycle is for us to choose our board goals. So at the next meeting, our next little study session item will be a handout of board goals, ways that we can measure them, and we're looking at, back to our accreditation conversation, we're looking to be sure that our goals align with the wording of our goals, aligns with those things that we're doing for the college and matches the desires of the accreditation process. The reason is not to teach to the test, but because there's been a lot of effort put in those ideas that are set out in the accreditation for colleges to function effectively. So we need to look at those and see what's the most important to us and how we can frame our ideas. I want to add our board goals in our notebooks here. We have my sheet, so I'll know how I'm doing. But in our binder, we have our mission and vision statement. If you'll notice, we also have our mission statement on within our agenda as well. But we have our 2-year and 24-month agenda, and we have these goals. These I'm leaving in our binders so that every month they're right there, and you can look in them if you need to be refreshed on one of those items. Now for your take-home copy, if you do need a take-home copy of those, if you'd please ask Leanne, she will happily supply them for us. But these are exactly what we had last month, and I would like us to have this copy when we refine our board goals. I don't want it to sound like we don't have board goals. It's just my job as president to be sure that they're refined. I want to put a copy of those goals also in this binder so that we have a tangible item we can look at and say, oh yes, look at this item on this agenda that matches that item in our other information. I'm hoping this helps us all walk down the same path in an effective manner rather than spending extra energy doing something when we really were all going the same way anyway. So
I call it a living document, just like when we do business plan, but would be a business plan for the board, for us, the boards.
Terrific. And along with this facilitator for professional development, but sort of as an extra item, we feel that we need a study session within this calendar year. So we're going to try to have one, see if we can coordinate with everyone's schedule in June. If we can make that work, then we will have another opportunity. And I would like that to function to kind of be based on the board's actions, and how that helps or hurts accreditation. Because the staff, the team, has done a wonderful job. We need to be sure that we're helping and as much as we can and not hindering. So it'll help us view our jobs and ourselves. And I'm putting it on our president and his designee, looking at Leanne, to see if you can put together that. Bonnie has generously offered a timeshare that she has, and so in the valley, so that we'll be all right here close. So those are our thoughts. Of whether they actually work out or not, we'll talk about more at the next meeting. Yes, sir.
I'd like to thank the chair for taking the leadership on this. The last couple of years, we were so stressed with other issues the board was dealing with. We've sometimes let our other functions slide a little bit, and that would be me as the last chair. And I'm glad to see that first of all, we're back to a more normal functioning.
Yes, we are.
Thank you, Lord. And that we now can focus on our goals and objectives and what we are doing as a board. And I think it's very important that we define what we're doing, how we're doing, and what we should be doing and should not be doing. And I think this will start us in that direction.
And thank you for reminding me, Michael. When Bonnie was chair last, she developed and suggested a way that we could work as teams of two and meet with various members of the upper administration. And she has suggested, again, that we go back to that. Michael actually came to me and apologized that we hadn't been able to do that during his term, but at that time, we could have just met with Joel, because he was the president and the vice presidents and the dean. Well, you weren't the deans, but okay, so you did all the jobs there. So now that we have a full team again, so as that develops, we'll be getting back and setting up teams so that we can meet and learn more. Again, it'll be back to our board goals, and we will be wanting to know how your area, your department, your scope, your field of vision, how that creates these items that happen, and how our goals can help support you. It's not an interrogation opportunity to say, why did you do this? Instead, it's a chance for you to tell us about that area. So it'll be structured, yet friendly. So that's what we're looking for, and more to come on that. Okay. Yes. We finished all the items? There's no other closed session? Okay, I have this new
Can I just go
verbiage.
ahead and put in my request for a hard copy of this? Yeah, because the one I already have is scribbled up with my...
Oh, you want to, okay. Actually, sometimes those scribbled up ones are the best. So seeing no more business on our agenda, are there any objections to adjourning the meeting? Hearing none, I adjourn this meeting at 2 o'clock. More or less.